Hi there, this is the third in a series of videos about flexible fingers on the bow, and I do admit to having posted videos 1 and 2 more than a year ago, so if you haven't seen them, you might want to go back and check to see how I start with flexible fingers on the bow. If you've never done any kind of finger motion, those 2 videos will get you set up. If you do have some idea of flexible fingers, whether you learned it from those videos or not, then you can move along from this. When last seen, video number 2 left off doing this. Straightening fingers to send the bow on an up bow, bending them to do the down bow. And so the way I teach that is by having the thumb and the first finger together. They are moving together all the time. And I know that on the bow, they're not lined up together. On the bow, your thumb is going to be either across from your second finger or your third finger, depending on how you hold the bow. But the idea is that we want both of them to move together in order to make these strokes. I would use this kind of stroke if I'm doing staccatos on the string, where I'm going up bow with a straightening finger, down bow with a bending finger. For spiccato, I put some fingers in there. Same thing. When I bend my fingers, I'm going down bow, and when I straighten my fingers, I'm going up bow. When we use our fingers to change at the frog, it's kind of the reverse, so it gets a little bit confusing here. One of the things that I often suggest, so that you understand what I mean when I say it's opposite, is by holding your bow kind of like this. So I've got my bow grip, I'm holding it very loosely. I'm holding the stick, not touching the hair, just the stick with my left hand. And then I'm going to pull the bow as if I were pulling it away out of my hand. And you'll notice my fingers straighten. My thumb is also straightening on the other side of the bow. And then I'm going to push the bow back into my hand, and my fingers will bend. So if my fingers are relaxed, I'm holding on not very much with my pinky and these other fingers. They're just really lightly on the bow. I'm mostly holding with my thumb and my first finger. They straighten when I pull the bow away, and they bend when I push the bow in. And what I'm approximating here is a down bow and an up bow. So if I do that same kind of thing with my bow on the string, but now I'm going to pull my hand away as if I'm starting to pull a down bow, but the bow is resisting, my fingers straighten a little bit. And I'm also, you'll notice, still holding it with my left hand. And then if I do the same thing, like I push that way as if I'm going to do an up bow, and I let my fingers be very relaxed, they bend. And when I say they, I mean my first finger and my thumb. My other fingers are not doing anything except helping to balance the bow. So again, when I try to pull a down bow and I resist, I have my bow resist, my fingers lengthen. And when I push an up bow, my fingers bend. So that was the opposite of what we were doing when we were doing up bow with the straightened fingers, down bow with a bend. Okay, that's why I'm saying that it feels strange and backwards. The best way to work on this is to go and do tiny little bows, as in the video Improve Your Bow Technique, the 3-part bow. Number 1, staying really at the frog. And what you're going to do is you're going to do on the down bow, you relax your hand. You try to pretend like your hand, and you might have to hold on actually here. You try to pretend like your hand is going to pull, and then the bow goes, and just like a few inches. And then I'm going to push back the other direction, bend my fingers, push back. Down bow, straighten, up bow, bend. And eventually you get to a point where you're doing straighten, bend. And for right now, as you're learning to do that, keep it really simple: straightening, bending, and that's all. You're going to feel a little tiny bit like you're dropping your bow, and that's okay. This is an exercise. It's not necessarily how you would do it. Although, if I'm playing something at the frog, I might actually do this in this way. Watch out that it's not your wrist. We don't want the wrist to be helping. So you can look at that and see that your wrist is staying stable. It's interesting to look at yourself in a mirror or a camera window. But when I'm doing this, I'm not doing any bending or hinging anywhere here. I'm just doing plain bows, but I'm using my fingers should feel like you're almost dropping your bow, because this is a relaxation stroke. This is a stroke that we want to use both to make a big sound, but also to make a relaxed arm, to relax our hand so we're not grabbing on to the bow with our finger. It's really important that your thumb moves all the time. It's even more important that your thumb moves than that this side of your hand moves, because that is the single thing that most causes tension problems in the hand, tendonitis in the hand, is when your thumb is a little rock and it's stuck. Give it a try. I will do another video that has the next step. Good luck.